we're going to look at square roots of larger numbers, recording the analysis of what is used. So that's what we are going to do today. We are going to record the analysis of what the quantity that we use up in building our square. Okay, so I have a number here, 54,756, and I want to find the square root of that. So I've started by marking out the periods. 1, 2, this is a period. 1, 2, another period, and then this is the third period. So how many periods do we have here? 1, 2, 3. We have 3 periods here. That means that the answer of our square root will have 3 digits. Therefore, we have the trinomial square guide, as we see it here, to guide us as we build our square. Now I'll put the quantities in the different cups. 54,756, and I'm sure you know how to do that. And I've also put the cups according to the periods. So this is our period here, first period, as another period, and another period here. So I've arranged the cups to reflect the different periods. So we are going to start by building our first square, as you can see from the guide, the trinomial guide. So we see that the first thing we are going to do is to build a square. And we are going to do that using the tens category, the tens of thousands category. So let's start. This is, I'll bring that down when I want to build. I bring down the cup to be able to build. I bring out the cup. So this is our first square, but I can still go on. I built the square of 2. I can't go on again because I only have 1 peg. I don't have enough quantity to build another square. So let's write down what we have done. We have a square of 2 here, so I'm going to put that here. A square of 2. And what is a square of 2? We can see it. 2 times 2, that is 4. So I've used up 4 pegs. And if you see what the 4 is made up of, it's made up of a square of 2. That's why we say we're analyzing what we have used. So in this case, our analysis shows that the 4 is a square of 2. So we are going to subtract that 4 from 5. Now I'm supposed to put the 4 here actually, so I'll correct that. And what do we have here? We have 1 left, and in my cup, it's actually 1 that I have left. So let's continue. So the next thing we are going to do, looking at our guide square, is that we are going to build in the rectangles. And we are going to do that with our units of thousands. So I'll bring down the units of thousand. here. I'm going to do the same thing on my paper. I'll bring down the units of thousands on my paper. That's 4. Okay. So our guide square shows that we have to build our rectangles with these units. So I'll start by exchanging this 10 of thousands to units of thousands. So let's go ahead and do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'll put this in the cup. So I'm now going to use that to build my rectangles, as we see here. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'll build at the bottom. I can still go on. I have more quantities to build my rectangles. So the rectangle on the right, then the rectangle at the bottom. I can still go on to build a rectangle on the right, and then the rectangle at the bottom. Now I can't go on any further because I have just 2 units of thousands left in my cup. So let us see what we have here. We have our 2 rectangles here. We see here we have 2 by 3, and here we have 3 by 2. So we are going to write that down. So I'm going to write that down on paper to show what we have done. So you have a rectangle of 2 by 3. I'm taking that 2 times. We have 1 here, 1 here. Two times. I'll write my 2 here. So let's analyze that. So 2 times, let's see. So altogether, how many pegs do we have here? We can see we have altogether 12 pegs that we have used up. And we see that 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. So let's subtract that from what we had in our cup originally, and we have 2 left. And in our cup, we have 2 left. So let's continue. So this 12, you can see this 12 we are subtracting is made up of 2 rectangles. That's what we have shown here. So we've analyzed the 12, what it's made up of. It's made up of 2 rectangles of 2 by 3. So let's continue. So from our guide square, what's the next thing we are going to do? We are going to build a square with our 100 category. So we are going to bring it down. So we bring down our 100 category. I brought it down. And of course we can see the square we are going to build already is determined. We are going to build a square of 3 by 3. So let's go ahead and do that. We're building a square of 3. I have peg that I can exchange. This unit peg to 10 of 100. So I'll go ahead and do that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let me also exchange this one for another 10 of 100. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I have enough hundreds now to build in my square. So I build my square of 3 now. So I'm going to write that out. So no, I was supposed to bring down the 700s. So I'll bring out the 700. So out of this 2700, I've used some pegs to build 3 squared. So I'm going to write that down. 3 squared. And what is 3 squared? As you can see, is 9. It's 9. So I'll subtract that from my 2700. And that will give me 17 minus 9 is what? What's 17 minus 9? Okay.
That's 6.
No. It's 8. So we have 18. So we have 18 hundredths left. We have 18 hundredths left. So let's verify what we have in this cup. We are going to have 18 hundredths. Let's verify that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So it's correct. We have 18 hundredths left in our cup. So now with this 1800, what are we supposed to do next? We are supposed to build our rectangles here, as you can see. So let's go ahead and build our rectangles. This is a rectangle. On the right, and another one at the bottom. We can continue. Another rectangle, another layer on the right, then another layer at the bottom. We can continue. Another layer on the right, another layer at the bottom. Can continue. Another layer on the right, another layer at the bottom. So we have to stop here because I don't have enough quantities in my 100 cups to continue. So let us see what we have done here. We have rectangles of 2 by 4, another one here 4 by 2. So we have 2 of them. We are going to write that down. So from our 1800s we had in our cup before, we have built 2 rectangles of 2 by 4. So we write 2 by 4 rectangle. We have 2 of those, which is equals, if we look at them, how many altogether? 8 plus 8, that's 16. So 2 times 4, 8. 8 times 2, 16. 16. So let's subtract that from our 1800s we had before. So we are going to have 200s left, and in our cup we have 200 left. So it's correct. So we are going to bring down the tens category. I'll bring that down on my paper. That is 5. I also bring it down on the pegboard. 5. So from what we can see, on the guide square, we are going to use these tens to build a rectangle here and another rectangle here by the square, the second square in the diagonal. So let's go ahead and build our rectangle with our tens. So we have a rectangle on the right, and then another one at the bottom, just like we see here. Going to exchange this 100. For 10 of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to put that here. Let me exchange this one also. Okay, let me exchange this also. Let me just exchange this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we are going to use this now to continue building a rectangle, as you can see here. Continue building our rectangles as we see here. So, going to continue following the guide square. The bottom I built, I'll continue the right hand, at the bottom, the right hand, at the bottom, the right hand, at the bottom, so I'm done building my blue rectangles, just as we see on the guide square. If I don't have enough pegs to continue. You can see what we have here. So what's the next thing I'm supposed to do? But before I go to the next one, let us write down and analyze what we have used up. We see that we have a rectangle of 3 by 4 and 4 by 3. So we are going to write that out. Rectangle of 3 by 4. And we have that 2 times. Just as we see here, this one rectangle is another rectangle, 2 times. So if we calculate that, how many would you have used up in building our rectangles? 3 times 4, 12. 12 times 2, 24. And if you count the pegs here, you find that there are 24 altogether we used to build our rectangles, the right rectangles and the bottom rectangles. So I'm going to write that out. So 3 times 4, 12. 12 times 2, 24. 24. So I'm going to subtract that from the quantity I had originally in my cup. When I do my subtraction, I have 1 left. And actually in my 10th cup, I have just 1 left. So we are left with the last square. Let's look at our guide. The next thing to do is to build our last square and the guide with our units. So let's bring that down. We bring that down on our paper. put that down on our paper. Six. Also bring that down on the pegboard. 6. So I can now go on and build my square with the units just as we see in our guide square. Here. Trying to build the square, the last square, just like you can see in our guide square. I don't have more, but I can exchange this 10 peg, 110. I change it to 10 units. So let's exchange that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's go ahead now and finish up building our last square. And of course you can see that the square is already determined by the rectangles, by the arms of the rectangles. So I've built my last square just as we see in our guide square. So we're going to go ahead now and write that on our paper, analyzing it to show what shape it is. So finally we built a square of 4 by 4, so a square of 4. I'm going to show that here, my write-up. And that equals 16. I subtract that, I find I don't have anything left. This 4 square. And when I subtract, I see that I don't have any quantity left. So I have my square. And we can see the answer right away. The answer of this number, the square root, you can see it right away at the bottom. What do we see? What is the square root? 234. And here on the right corner, 234. So we are going to write that down as a square root. So it equals 234.